Hello, bros. Welcome to Investing Bros. I am T Shroom, and we've got to start off with this Ethereum chart, guys. Man, this wick right here had my heart beating real fast. We've got very, very close to 4,000 here, all the way up to, it looks like $3,987 per coin for Ethereum. Zooming out to the monthly chart, of course, this is an important psychological number. As well as this is kind of in the general area of where this monthly close from September 2021, wicked up to that region, and then this candlestick that ultimately claimed the highest all-time price for Ethereum was also a price discovery wick to the downside in that region of 4,000. So this can absolutely be assumed to be a major line of resistance that once flipped into support can mean very bullish days ahead for the queen of crypto, the king of altcoins, your boy, Ethereum. So it's very exciting to see. We've got a bunch of bullish news here for both Ethereum and Bitcoin. We'll be getting to that in just a few seconds. But first, I wanted to remind you all of this really cool promotion we have with our exchange partner over at Blofin. All you got to do is get about $50,000 worth of USDT trading volume, and then you get a free wheel spin here. So go to the first link in our description, set up your Blofin account, and start trading. You have 5 days, 19 hours. So you got to get started right now, bros. Get in there and start trading. 50,000 USDT trading volume sounds like a lot, but it's really not. Go ahead and get in there and make it happen for yourself. Get a free Apple Vision Pro, an iPhone 15, or cash. Get some free cash. And hey, if you're a profitable trader, you're basically getting paid to take a chance to win free, awesome tech gear. Well, let's go ahead and jump into this first headline here. $10,000 Ethereum? Let's get into it. Ethereum could run to $10,000 or higher this year on numerous catalysts. Now, this analysis is actually coming to us not from some crazy guy in the street. It's coming from Juan Leon, who's a crypto researcher analyst at asset manager Bitwise. So Bitwise is one of the approved spot Bitcoin ETF issuers. Ethereum has been largely overshadowed by Bitcoin for the past several months, but the laggard could more than double in price in 2024, says Juan Leon. I like that name. Ether could very well go to 8,000 or even 10,000, yes, this year, maybe even higher, says Juan Leon. There are two major catalysts that we're going to be looking out for, says Juan Leon. Let's go ahead and check them out here. This month's Dang Coon upgrade will make transactions cheaper on Layer 2 networks, which will bolster activity and even attract mainstream mass consumer demand for the Ethereum. He explained. So if all goes according to plan and the Dang Coon upgrade goes ahead and gets instituted, it's going to be bullish. I mean, this is kind of a big one. This one's going to be felt. It's going to be a felt quality of life increase for those who are developing, who are using, who are staking on Ethereum. So this is going to have an impact on the price, in my opinion, and that's why Juan Leon is quoting it as a bullish catalyst. Another catalyst are the spot Ether exchange-traded funds applications with a regulatory decision deadline approaching in May. It's May 23rd. According to the facts that I've seen. The odds for an approval are not as clear as were in the case of the spot Bitcoin ETFs earlier this year. The Bitwise analyst said, but the possibility will bring excitement to Ether. Absolutely. Juan Leon gave a 50 to 60% chance for an approval, but said it will happen sooner or later. And that is where that's interesting. You know, Juan Leon, his rating here, it does carry some weight, right? Because he's over there at Bitwise. But I really, really want to see, and I tweeted out to Eric Bulkanis yesterday, I said, hey, when ETH spot ETF approval rating coming from you all? And I don't think I heard back from him, but that is going to be a big moment when we get that approval rating of that percentage chance pass rating from the guys over there at Bloomberg. They got it right last time. They said 90% likelihood of a Bitcoin spot ETF approval. We got it, right? So I really want to see what Eric Bulkanis and James Seyfert are going to be cooking up in terms of a chance of approval rating. My guess is that it will be lower than 90%, but higher than 50%. And Juan Leon is coming right in that category here or as well. Now Juan Leon also says sooner or later, and that is also true in my opinion. So even if Gary Gensler pulls a rabbit out of a hat and figures out how to go to Congress and say, hey, we can't make this decision here on May 23rd, we need more time, even if they do that, or if they decline it, if they deny the approval of the spot Ethereum ETF, I do think that BlackRock, Fidelity, Bitwise, and all of the other issuers here that are applicants at this point for the Ethereum ETF, they will sue the SEC and they will win. So that's why I think the sooner rather than later language is in there. And keep in mind, Grayscale also, I believe, is looking to flip their Ethereum ETF into a spot ETF. So that is that's what's cooking over there on the bullish catalyst front for the ETF narrative. It goes on. Ether's deflationary supply, the restaking boom, led by Ingen Layer and increasing decentralized finance activity, also support higher prices for ETH. Broker firm Bernstein said in a report earlier this month. So that's kind of a little bonus, little bullish catalyst there for you. Juan Leon kind of sneaking up with you and scaring you there, maybe giving you a little more than you bargained for with that article there. Thank you so much, Juan Leon, for having a really easy to say and fun name. I like that. And then also bringing us just this analysis. But it doesn't stop there, folks. We got the two catalysts. We got the bonus catalyst, but it doesn't stop there because Juan is asking the question, when ETH can break all-time high. Now, going over the chart, let's get a little bit of context for this. I have moved from the monthly chart. I want to go back to the monthly chart. So the all-time high here is only really, it's within reach. I'm going to show you guys just how far away from it is. And we're also going to check on that 4,000 level here in a second too. It's only 22. It's only 22% to the Ethereum all-time high here. It's very close, right? We've seen Ethereum do 22% in one day, right? Now it's been a while since we've seen that, but that can absolutely happen, and it can happen very, very quickly. So let's go and see what Juan Leon has to say about when this might take place. Late November 2020, Bitcoin was knocking at its all-time highs at 19,000 while Ethereum was hovering below 600, some 60% lower than its 2018 peak. A few weeks later, when Bitcoin decisively broke above its former record price, ETH embarked on a multi-month rally to eventually hit 4,400 peak in May. If history is any indication, Bitcoin first has to surpass the 69,000 level for Ethereum's shot to new all-time high. So this is in keeping with this document that we reviewed yesterday. It's not really a document, it's more of an image, but it is in keeping that there has to be this back and forth. Ethereum goes back and forth with Bitcoin and starts outperforming it. But I do agree with Juan Leon's analysis here that there does need to be a $69,000 Bitcoin first. And have we gotten that? Well, let's go ahead and look at the Bitcoin charts. We haven't cracked them open quite yet. Let's go ahead and look over here at Bitcoin and see, have we gotten that $69,000? Oh, it appears as though we have. We've got a wick up here. I'm still on the monthly chart. We've gotten that $69,000 Bitcoin. So according to Juan Leon, we are in the clear for Ethereum to not only breach 4,000, which it looks like it's going to be doing here eminently, maybe by the end of the show. That would be really nice. We've already gotten one bonus today. If we can get a second bonus, that would be really, really cool. Let me get off these monthly charts and take a look here. Yeah, we still have not gotten to the 4,000 level quite yet, but we are closing in on it. Let's see how far away we are. Only so less than a percentage, guys. I think we're going to hit it today. 4,000% will be $4,000 per coin will be really exciting to celebrate on Twitter and in the Discord. If you're a member for Investing Bros, if you're not yet, go ahead and click the join button here. That's going to bring up the different member tiers. You can pick whatever tier you want. The lowest $4.99 tier gets you access to the Discord. We will absolutely be celebrating that 4,000 level for Ethereum. All right, let's move on to some more of the stories. But before I do, I want to go ahead and check in on the chat and see what is crack-a-lackin' with my peeps, with my bros. I see Gia S saying GM to the Sawtooth Hiker. Not a surprise there. Crypto Mini Bike said, good morning from my off-the-grid cabin. Yo, That sounds awesome. I would love to be out in an off-the-grid cabin right now. Eric Wallen said, those are Piper kind of trading volume. Yeah, it's definitely a lot of fun, the potential over here at the Investing Bros collaboration that we're doing with Blowfin, with the spin the wheel. You have a good chance of winning the Apple Vision Pros and the iPhone 15. It's going to be really cool if one of our members go ahead and achieve that. But more than likely you're gonna get one of the cash prizes, right? But it'd be really cool if one of us could get the Apple Vision Pro or the iPhone 15. It'd be nice to have a phone upgrade, but the Apple Vision Pro, that's the one that I'm really kind of stoked about seeing somebody win. Gia S said, the truth, smash the like button. Drew P said, I'm only here till Porsche. LOL. Good stuff. Let's see. Drew P said, I saw Caleb Franzen say his ETH high prediction was higher than you'd expect. Yes, and I don't think he's issued that quite yet. I think 10,000 is a pretty high estimate for Ethereum. I think that it absolutely is achievable, right? I think that those two catalyses need to go very well. I think obviously the spot Ethereum ETF needs to be approved, or at least BlackRock needs to file a lawsuit against the SEC. But I think if it is declined or if it is delayed in that final deadline, then you're going to go ahead and you're going to probably see some downside for not just Ethereum, but for a lot of the altcoins, especially the layer 2s. You may even see up days for coins like Solana and XRP and Bitcoin, right? Because they're kind of competitors in price action when it comes to day-to-day price movement. GS said, happy Friday, TGIF, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in general. Make sure you do smash that like button. The Kid Coleman said, your daily reminder that we are going to make so much money, we'll be able to all get steak tattoos. Wow. Good one. Nancy Croy said, good morning, bros, and was one of the first chats, but I think it may have been Blackie Chan 577. Coinbase upgraded to neutral as Goldman Sachs ends their bearish stance. So Coinbase, if you don't live in the United States, you probably can't buy it. I think you can use it in some countries. But let's go ahead and look at the price per share for Coinbase. Coinbase, I think, has been continuing to do pretty well over on the stock market. And so in the pre-market, we're actually getting a nice little move up here for Coinbase. Not a huge surprise, up 0.5%, negligible. Seeing a gap back here that probably will come back and be filled back down to 208 at some point. But my Coinbase, the stock that I have in Coinbase, it's kind of just set and forget, in my opinion. I'm just kind of letting it just marinate, let it stew. I'm definitely not planning on selling it. In fact, I have some in my retirement account as well, so there you go. But a 24%, a 22% pullback could potentially be in the cards to come back and test this resistance here. This very strong level of support that was resistance. Coinbase got clapped here at 187, had to retrace all the way down to 114 before it started its monumental ascent of 112% to where we are trading today. So that is going to be very, very bullish for Coinbase. And even more bullish is a neutral rating. So in the stock market, there's usually like a buy, hold, sell rating that big banks kind of issue, rating agencies issue, Goldman Sachs being one of them. And they've moved their rating from probably overweight to neutral or something like this. Wall Street giant Goldman Sachs called time on its bearish stance on crypto exchange Coinbase, upgrading the shares to neutral from sell. Yeah, there you go. After Bitcoin hit a record high and daily trading volumes hit levels not seen since 2021, according to a report published Thursday. Of course, there's going to be all kinds of different stock market. Well, let's read this one. While we still see limited use case for crypto at present, the beta to the price action has significantly overweighed any alpha from not seeing any acceleration in the retail adoption over time. Well, that's all Greek to me. Ultimately here, what we have to deduce is that, look, Coinbase has absolutely crushed their last earnings, and that was earnings from Q4. which was decent. There was definitely a decent amount of trading volume, but think about Q1. Q1 has been the totality of crazy amounts of movement and high volume in Bitcoin and in crypto markets, right? Coinbase makes money when there's lots of volatility because they're collecting fees when people are going in and out of positions. So the Q1 earnings are going to absolutely destroy, and I think that has to do with why we are seeing a rating change here from Goldman Sachs. Again, if you're outside of the United States, you probably cannot get Coinbase stock, and that's okay. I think in Europe now you can through Robinhood, which is kind of ironic. But we've got a big moment here. This is the Sheikh of, I believe, Qatar, meeting up with none other than the leader of the free world. The new leader of the free world, in my opinion. I'm being hyperbolic here, but Nayib Bukele. Look at this. This is a big moment. Now, of course, this could potentially translate into your crypto bags moving higher. For a little bit of context for those who have no idea what you're viewing here, this is the Sheikh of Qatar, who has a very, very wealthy country that has airlines and all kinds of natural resource sales that far exceeds the needs of the population there. So they have a huge budget surplus, and they're looking to invest that money every single year. And a lot of it has been into diversification into like airlines and some financial services and luxury like tourism and things like that. And he's meeting with a man here who has a very poor country, right? He's the president of El Salvador, a country that until recently was the number one, because of this man actually fixed it. Nayib was the number one crime-ridden country in the world, right? You're the most likely to get killed if you went and visited this country in El Salvador. It sucks. It sucks. But now it doesn't suck because they have made Bitcoin legal tender. The fact that these two men are meeting up is basically well encapsulated here by Bitcoin Archive, as he says, nation-state adoption. Here we go. Send it, Sheik. So very, very nice to see it. And I don't know. I guess this is in El Salvador.
Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you very much.
It's a really nice apartment. So it's really nice to see two global leaders. I don't know a ton about the Sheikh of Qatar, so he may have a bit of a more storied past. But I do know that Nayib Bukele is somebody who, man, how do you not admire the guy? He's absolutely impressive, and I cannot wait to watch the rest of his career and hear what comes of that meeting. I hope that the Sheikh of Qatar basically says, hey, look, we got to buy all the Bitcoin we can. We got to make it legal tender in Qatar. We got to get our people on Bitcoin. That's high hopes, right? That's pretty high hopes. But this is the Bitcoin bull market, right? This is where those types of things happen. So it's going to be really, really big. Nayib Bukele has all the ammunition he needs to sit there and prove to the Sheikh, look what's all the prosperity that's been brought to my country here. Is it perfect? No, it's not perfect. But we are moving in the right direction. Man, things could be a lot worse there in El Salvador, and they have taken some steps to really, really take some steps forward in the future of El Salvador. Well, we've got some updates here on the ETF front, and I don't think I've seen a headline about the ETFs that was at all even remotely bearish since the grayscale sell the news situation. Bitcoin Archive here reporting new. Fidelity's Bitcoin ETF had its biggest day of inflows yesterday, pulling in a massive $473 million. It has had $6 billion total inflows since January 11th, of course, the date of when these spot ETFs went live. So let's take a look here at this graph, because this one is absolutely insane. You can see here the levels of inflows on average have just gone up, 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 up. And this is the cumulative inflows. So that's that $473 million number, and the record here has been set on the 41st day, 4/1 of the ETF going live for Fidelity. So Fidelity, of course, being the number 2 biggest spot Bitcoin ETF issuer after BlackRock. So very, very bullish news from the ETFs yet again. And guys, there's like a lot more bullish news from the ETFs. It's kind of gotten a little bit mind-numbing. So I don't bring that to you every single day. I thought today we'd break that, and I would go ahead and give you guys a little bit of reporting on those ETFs. But make no mistake, those ETFs are definitely the bullish narrative in crypto right now, in Bitcoin specifically, that are leading to higher prices early. Because right now, I would say that we are seeing an uncharacteristically bullish moment in the current market cycle. And I think that has a lot, if not 100%, to do with those ETFs, right? There's really not a reason why we would see such elevated prices for Bitcoin hitting all-time high pre-halving, right? And now, yeah, I'm going to let you guys in on a little something. There's a very, very intelligent analyst out there who's not calling for, but he's asking the question, could we hit up 100K Bitcoin before the halving? Guys, it's just so bullish, right? And this is the bull market, right? So people are going to keep moving that number up, up, up. And every time we hit it, they're going to move that number up again. Let's get into another story here. Bitcoin is unlikely to match gold's allocation in investors' portfolios in nominal terms, says JP Morgan. Now, this is a little bit more of a bearish story, but I mean, it's just something to probably have a little bit of context on here. So a spokesperson from JP Morgan, Nicholas Pan, said, most investors take risk and volatility into account when they allocate across asset classes, and given the volatility in Bitcoin is around 3.7 times the volatility of gold, that's a good number to keep kind of in your back pocket there. Even though, so it's 3.7 times the volatility of gold, it would be unrealistic to expect Bitcoin to match gold within investors' portfolios in notional terms. So in the short term, I agree with this. I think that there's a lot that is true with this. However, in the long term, who's to say, right? It's kind of anybody's call. So I don't look. This is probably another one of those, JP Morgan coming out and just saying something because they believe that they're going to be able to move the markets. Pulled up here is a chart of everything. It's a chart of total asset cap by market cap of all assets. Of course, gold up here at 14 trillion, right? Now, real estate and derivatives as an asset class are not on here, right? But these are not asset classes. These are actual just assets. So you have gold, then you've got, the top corporations of the world, Microsoft leading the way here decisively since Apple took a tumble recently. But then you've got, importantly here, you have Bitcoin just above Meta Platforms holding on to that flip, and it is closing in. We may see by the end of March, Bitcoin go ahead and flip silver. It is very, very possible, and that would be also very, very exciting. Now, when Bitcoin starts to flip, Google and Amazon and Saudi Aramco, Nvidia, Apple, Microsoft, then the next head to roll is gold. And here with this headline here that Bitcoin is unlikely to match gold's allocation in investors' portfolios. I agree with that in the short term. Again, I don't see fund managers and doing this, right? If you have a 5% allocation in the gold in your retirement fund, I don't think that you're going to get a 5% allocation to Bitcoin in 2024. Now, obviously, we know that that's probably going to be a mistake. You could have seen more upside, right? But if you're in retirement, which some of you are listening to the sound of my voice, if you're in retirement, you know that you're not looking to get rich in retirement. It would be nice, right? But you just want to make sure that you're going to have enough money to live out the rest of your days and sip martinis on the weekend and leave a little bit to the grandkids, right? But ultimately here, obviously we think and we know, or at least I do, that not allocating to Bitcoin would be a mistake. Now, I think allocating to Bitcoin the same amount as you have a allocation into gold as a retiree, as a pensioner, that is probably a little too early. And then I might be the minority in the crypto space saying that, but I'm not someone who thinks that people above, probably 68, 69 need to have a significant portion of their retirement in Bitcoin. I think a 1 to 2% allocation is appropriate. Now, if you're someone who is like in Army Piper's situation where he's both retired but also very active trader, that's a totally different thing, right? You can have as much allocation into Bitcoin as you want. Gia S said, heck, I want to get rich now, and I'm richer in retirement. LOL. So Gia S, absolutely. Well, Gia S, you are an exception to a lot of different rules, though, because you're an early adopter in Bitcoin in understanding its intricate value is not obvious to folks who have never studied technology or studied like economic theory and currency theory. So the fact that you not only paid attention to Bitcoin but also took the time to understand it, and then you continue to contribute massively to communities like Investing Bros and the Piper Academy, it shows not just your commitment to understanding technology, but your commitment to the communities that understand technology, right? And so that's why you're rewarded. You've earned it. You've absolutely earned it. Ultimately, I do disagree with JP Morgan here. I think for retirees, there's an argument to be made that you should not match the gold allocation in the short term. I think in the long term, yes, it will be matched. It will be exceeded, because eventually Bitcoin will not be here. It'll be here. It'll be on top of gold, above that $4 trillion allocation. Now, of course, gold could also shoot itself in the foot. I believe that there's giant gold deposits somewhere in Africa now where that has not been kind of baked into this number. So once that supply gets added, the overall market cap of gold may augment. I'm not sure about that though. And that probably would be marginal, and I don't think it would bring it really probably much lower than 13 trillion. So, of course, I'm doing some very big assumptions with that kind of back of the napkin math. So just keep that in mind. Overall, very bullish for Bitcoin. Just the fact that this question is even being asked, guys, genuinely, just the fact that this question is even being asked. But this is just a little bit of, it's like light FUD, right? It's like diet FUD. It's not really going to shake anybody out, but it's giving maybe a little bit of pause to managing directors of big funds who, for like pensions or endowments, who are considering buying Bitcoin. It's maybe they're thinking twice. Maybe they're going a little slower, and maybe they should go a little slower. All right, BlackRock seeks SEC approval for Bitcoin ETF inclusion in global allocation fund. That's kind of all said there in the title, and so is this one. Could Bitcoin's recent surge frighten the Fed? Bitcoin's bullish moves, along with soaring tech stocks, could discourage the Federal Reserve from cutting interest rates, a JP Morgan strategist said. Guys, it's so nice to be in an asset class that doesn't care about the Fed anymore. Of course, if the Fed hiked rates, Bitcoin would care probably about Bitcoin price would react to that event. But the fact that the rates are just going to stay here, at like 5.4, honestly, the halving, the ETFs, all of that is really just, it's better, right? It's better currency, and dollars are following that better currency. And so ultimately, I'm not scared that we're not going to, maybe not even get a cut in all of 2024, right? I'm really not scared. Now, I say that now. Let's get to the second half of 2024, and then we'll see what's going on. I do think we'll get some cuts in 2024, but I think it's going to be a lot later than people think. I can't remember if Caleb feels the same way about that. I think he might have thought that we are going to go ahead and get cuts, and that the Fed is head faking. But either way, it's kind of off my radar. I think when I asked the question to Caleb this last week, Caleb's kind of our macro guy. He comes on. Tim and I both know macro, but Caleb really knows macro. We really like him and his takes. And I asked him, like, will we, when we're going to see these cuts? Or I asked him, does Bitcoin care about crypto anymore? Does Bitcoin care about the Fed anymore? And he said, yeah, it will. So I do think that the Fed still matters, but it's definitely, in my mind, mattering less and less every day. But that just goes to show how much the Fed mattered in the first place. All right, guys. Well, that's going to conclude the stories here. Let's go ahead and jump over to some of the crazy meme stocks that I know that you guys go absolutely bonkers for. We're going to start with Bonk. So take a look here. You can see Bonk has some room to run here. If it goes back to its wick, it's 30. That's a 39% move. Just keep in mind, I'm not really trading any of these. I do hold Ordi. Ordi has been underbought. I'd say, look, if you're looking to get into the meme coins, man, this one's underbought, right? Because if you look at Bonk, it's kind of in a similar setup, I'd say, but it's kind of like where Ordi's price is like still kind of down here. Let me throw those Bollinger Bands on. Let's see, Dogecoin, also one that I hold. The Bollinger Bands don't want to turn on. That's weird. So ultimately, guys, I mean, these meme coins, right, they're all the rage right now. People are really, really excited about them. Pepe looks like it's hitting an all-time high. Goodness gracious. What a world. Let's see. Snack also has been doing pretty well. Yeah, it looks like it hit an all-time high as well. Oh, no, it's not. It's closing in on its all-time high. That's got a nice little upside there, though. So this one might not be a bad allocation either. 40% to the upside, pretty much the same as Bonk. But you know, I don't play the meme markets very much. I don't. It's kind of like I could also go out and buy a bunch of lottery tickets. You know what I mean? And I know that might sound really kind of crusty or really stale approach, but I'm just so happy with my crypto portfolio right now. I wish I had a little more render, I will say. A little more render, a little bit more of an AI allocation. But when it comes to the meme coins, I just don't feel like I'm really missing out. I feel like I'm on the train that I need to be on, and that if I feel compelled to go trade meme coins, that'll become clear to me at some point. But right now, I'm just not feeling it. Not feeling it. Daisy Crypto Days is chimed in here, said, T-Shroom, you are now on my top 3 to listen to every day. Thank you for your sincere take on crypto and related issues. Let's go bonk. Look, I might have to trade bonk today now, just because of how nice that comment was. We'll see. We will see. Guys, we are about to head into the weekend. We will be live tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I have a guest for the 11 slot and the 3 p.m. slot later today. I'm going to be revealing who those guests are here in about 2 hours. So be glued to the Investing Bros X account and my X account, which is right here. So you can go subscribe there, and you'll be able to find out who my guests are going to be today. And I'll tell you what, they are both gems, absolute gems. I'm excited to bring them on. It's going to be very, very exciting. Where's Tim? Tim is in an event in Orlando that he's doing with Discover Crypto, so he's going to be having some fun there, making some great connections. Hopefully we'll have some big hitting guests on Investing Bros very, very soon as a result of that networking event down there in Orlando. Folks, thank you so much for watching the Investing Bros. If you're trading, stay hydrated, and if you're drinking water, keep your stop losses tight. And I will see you at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time today. Adios.
Trying to make paper, turn that better to cake. Money like Lego, connect the dots stack bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros. Army pipe, lethal on trade. Entries and exits, worthy of praise. Tim, the professor of the TA. Shout it out loud on the PA. T-Shroom's news got the word. Doing better than what he deserves. Beamer, leave no evidence. Soon fly coop with his dividend. Trying to make paper, turn that better to cake. Money like Lego, connect the dots stack bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros.